right, everybody. Hey, welcome to the very first episode of our new podcast, Real Talk 447. I'm Jeff Emig, and I am joined by the GOAT, my good friend, Ricky Carmichael. There you are, buddy. How are you today?
I'm always good when I'm talking to you, man. I am always good when I'm talking to you. How are you?
Down there in the Tallahassee Taj Mahal, I see. All your magazine covers in the background.
Yeah, we got to get the good shot. Everyone's got to bear with us. I'm going to get it more dialed in on my end so you guys can hear me better. But we're going to make it. We're going to make it good today and have a hell of a show.
Hey, so what did you think of our intro music there? Our buddy Andrew McKeague, the Andrew McKeague Band, and the title of that track is "This Old Lie." I think it's fitting. I know we're calling this Real Talk 447, but this old lie may be. By the end of the show, there may be some of those being told. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it. There'll be a few tales I would tell.
Yeah, and Andrew's the absolute. He's like the Yoda of dad rock. So stoked to have the Andrew McKeague Band give us their music for this old lie. Check out the album if you like dad rock and classic rock. That's the way to go. So, Ricky, we talked about doing this podcast for so freaking long,
dude. That's why at least a year, I'm like, dude, we need to do a podcast.
No procrastination at all.
Right. I mean, we're busy guys. I mean, a lot of people think that we're not, and we just do certain things at certain times. But with a lot of your hard work and bouncing ideas off of me and asking what I thought, I mean, you did all the work.
Well, no, you got to produce the talent.
I'm excited. We finally get to put it to fruition. But the thing why I think we really had to fast track it, because every time I'm turning around, dudes are like coming out with podcasts and video casts. I'm like, man, everyone's going to think that we were following them and wanting to follow suit, which that hasn't been the case because we've had this idea for a while now, and I'm glad to finally get it off the ground, man.
Yeah, and so Real Talk. It came about, right, how many times after every race, whether it's last year, Supercross this year, we always get on the phone and we talk about what's happening in the world of Supercross, Motocross of Nations, the overseas races, all that. And then it's like, dude, we should have just recorded that phone call that we just had. So we'll do our best to put that type of, what's the word, openness into it. I mean, because if we don't, I mean, we can't edit it. You're not on NBC Sports right now. Right?
No, it's real talk.
All right.
I mean, that's what it's all about. It's real talk, and that's the way it's going to be. So I'm excited for it. It's been a long time coming for sure. We haven't put full effort into it until as of late, but we had this idea, and I'm excited for it. And like you said, Jeff, it's we sit here and we download after the race weekends. Dude, let's just say the last 5, 6, 7 years when I first started, getting on the broadcast with you and Ralphie, and I, there was just so much stuff and content that we didn't have time to deliver on air that I felt like this was a great place to be able to do that. And we're going to talk real. There's probably things that some guys aren't going to like about it. But at the same time, it's our beliefs and what we feel. But at the end of the day, I think our viewers and our listeners are really going to like it. And we're going to have a damn good time doing it.
Well,
for sure.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Now that you're the full-time color analyst for NBC, for Supercross on NBC with Ralph Sheheen, dude, before we had a booth, it'd be Ralph, yourself, me. It's kind of crowded with 3 people, and we know how fast-paced Supercross goes. Now, even with you and Ralph, it's like, man, I just wanted more time to explain that. So if there's a situation that comes up, here's going to be our platform to do that, right, to kind of break some things down. We tried to get this podcast going before Supercross started, of course, with the holidays, and it was just impossible. Yeah, it's impossible. So here we are, and so we're going to get into that in a second. But I also want to send a special thank you to Andy Taylor for the logo design, the Real Talk 447. Andy is at the Park Creative. You know him from his work with Fox Racing and FMF and the EMIG brand and all of that sort of stuff. So, Andy, thank you so much for the awesome logo. Appreciate that.
Hey, real quick, we just don't want to be, when I say we, I'm talking about my best friend, Fro Daddy. We don't want to be, just another podcast that downloads about what happened on the race. We are going to talk about the past weekend's races, wherever that city might be, wherever that race might have taken place. But we want to go above and beyond. We want to talk to other athletes from other sports. So we're going to do that. We want to warm up and get a couple podcasts under our belt before we do that. But we really want to reach out, and we want to give our listeners and eventually viewers the chance to listen to other professional top athletes in other sports. I mean, that's our goal. We don't want to just sit in Supercross and motocross. We want to expand upon the horizons, and I think we're in a great place to do that. It has nothing to do with not wanting to just be in Supercross or motocross. It just we want to bring more to the outside world and more to our viewers rather than just Supercross and motocross. Simply put, bottom line, and that's our long-term goal. We're going to do that. That's what I'm really excited about, is to give our viewers and listeners other people's perspective, whether it's Kevin Harvick or...
You can get Harvick on our show?
He owes me a couple favors. I think we could.
I think that we have a pretty good network of interesting people. I mean, obviously riding dirt bikes, Supercross, motocross is our core that probably brings us all together. But the friendships that you and I have been able to develop along our lives and our careers too, we hope to bring them into this show as well.
Yep.
All right.
So that's our view. We can move forward. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you're the big man of the show, Fro Daddy.
I'm hosting this, Muv.
You are. You earned that right.
So what do you got in the background there? I see you're in the billiards bar room there of the Taj Mahal of Tallahassee, and you've got
we've had some good times. In the background here, I'm in my rec room, as we call it, and there's some special trophies that I won along my career, Motocross of Nations titles. I got some #1 plates in here. A lot of my single race win, throughout the season, of Supercrosses and outdoors. A lot of those are at my parents' house. I kind of kept the championship trophies and the special gear that I kept along the way. I do have some regrets. I didn't keep a lot of my stuff, unfortunately, through my career. So
you got the bikes and everything set up. Any of the fans that have seen where the bikes are stacked up are there in that same room, actually just behind our camera. Where do you keep all the trophies from Supercross in 1999?
Well, you only got one of them in 1999.
Between the two of us, we got one.
Dude.
And it was the third.
Every time I see that picture of you riding around with that big-ass fro you're wearing, I still get pissed. We had the dream team, and not one of us got on the podium until yourself at the last race of the series. So no trophies from Supercross in 99.
Dude, I rode around and took a parade lap with the fro wig on. I don't know, somebody gave it to me right there, like I won the title. And it was the only third of the year for our whole team.
Yeah, and you were celebrating like it was like you won the damn championship. And
I was celebrating like it was 1999.
Did you barely?
No,
get
I think
third,
it was 1999, wasn't it?
Was it a convincing third, or was it barely a third?
Was that the race where you got hit, where Albertine ran you over? Where you got hit? Hey, when you went down, and I seen you down, and then Albertine literally hit you in the head. People, can you look it up on YouTube? He gets run over through the whoops. But if you hadn't have fallen down, Albertine wouldn't have run you over, so you can't blame him.
Yeah,
and I rode by in the rut. I'm like, thank you very much. That's one more position. I think it's the same race. I don't know. There's so many times where I look back and I will have done a magazine interview about a certain race. And then, now that YouTube and stuff's around, I'll watch the race and I'll be like, shit, that didn't happen at all like I remember.
Yeah.
At all. And I've already been on record doing interviews about it. So it's let's not let the facts get in the way of a good story here on Real Talk.
Yeah.
No matter what the title says, we are living this old lie.
We are. Without a doubt. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, I apologize for the feelings that we might hurt. But it is real talk. And we're going to try to give us our honest analysis and opinion on the weekend and whatever subject we're talking about. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing it as well. So, my man started off.
All right. So we have 6 rounds of Monster Energy Supercross in the book. Big changes with the TV networks and all of that sort of stuff. First off, what's that change been like for you? You're full time in the booth.
Mm-hmm. It's been a massive change, just to commit to the whole year. I said when I retired from racing that I would never travel 17 rounds like that in a row. Well, we get Easter weekend off, but times change. My kids are grown up a little bit more, so it's easier for me to travel. With my personal life, I'm a divorced parent, and so parenting. When I first got divorced, I had to spend a lot of time at home. That was really important, and I still do that. Whenever I'm home, I am with my kiddos, and that's the way it goes. But everything has adjusted as good as it can, and so it's great. I'm able to go to the races, and it's a place where I love, like Ralph. I mean that's the people at the races are our extended family. Yeah, there's no doubt. So it's been an adjustment. You know better than anybody. You live that life.
12 years, yeah.
I don't. Everything happens so fast, and so many people can be critical. And listen, I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. The only thing I can do week in and week out is do my best. People are going to like it. People are going to hate it. I'm out there doing the best that I can do, just like you did. It's a fast-paced sport. So I think the biggest challenge is really expanding on what I need to say, but not losing sight of the actual battle that's on the track. But it's something I need to adapt to. I know that's where I need to be better. So it's 12 years. It's a challenge. And like I said, I got tough boots to fill. You did a freaking fantastic job. And you know what? I like anything, I gotta keep working and do my best. And if I do my best, then I can have no regrets.
Hey, so how many? Like it's always like, hey, can you get to your point quicker? And I'm like,
well, no.
No. Right? Like, I don't know. Ricky and I, we both tell long stories. That's the way it is. But we've got like an hour on the show. So on this show, so this is our show, so we can take as long as we want, right?
That's right.
Well, dude, I think you're doing great. I know that it's a big adjustment in so many factors. I hate it that we've got haters out there that are trying to compare us. I don't think that that's fair. I certainly would not. There's no way you could get me to watch one of my first shows. Like if you'd have to strap me to a chair, like put the headphones on, like force my eyeballs open.
Tell everyone when your first show was.
My first actual show, I think, was U.S. Open when
you're color analyst.
So I did the U.S. Open in 06. So remember, Laraco Huffman and I did a Legends race that same night. So I would do the main events with Ralph, like at a little spot up in the stands, like in my gear. Like I think back, like, wow, did that really happen? But actually, so got the job, blah, blah, blah. We did those 2 early like world championship rounds of Supercross in Toronto and Vancouver. I don't remember which was first, but one of those was my first real show with Ralph and the team as we know it now. That's kind of
leading up to the 07 season, right?
Well, technically, wasn't that the start of the 07 season of the World Championship was in December of 06. So
that's right.
So yeah, I mean, those on cameras, dude, people have no idea how hard the on cameras are.
Yeah, it seems like this past weekend, I nailed my on cameras, but I kind of missed it in the race call, and then like the week before, I felt like my on cameras weren't that good, but my race call was good. So it's little nuggets I try to get better at. But I was thinking about, man, it's crazy. I thought when I won my championship in 2006 at Vegas, you guys were up. I thought you were up in the booth.
No, Denny was.
You or something.
No, Denny Stevenson was the color analyst in 06. Hey, do you remember when I did some pit reporting back in the days? You were for like ESPN or something. Talk about a fish out of the water. I had to do a one-on-one interview with McGrath. That was like the first thing I had to do. And then I got to do that feature on your handlebars. Like I got to do a full segment on why your handlebars were dropped like they had slipped, and that's how you rode it. That was fun. But was that 02 or you were on a Honda? So when was that?
Yeah, that was 02 and 03. My bars are really dropped. But the crazy thing, you wore that goofy jersey every weekend, dude. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Yeah.
I would ask our viewers to pull that up and send it to tag at Ricky Carmichael and at EMIG47 on social media to see that again. I'm not really
dude,
a jersey.
It was so funny.
I don't know, man. Hey, there's probably a lot of if you want to see all the different outfits that I've worn that are kind of embarrassing these days, just go to Ricky's Instagram on December 1st, which is my birthday, and he always likes to make sure everybody's aware of those days. So I appreciate that, brother.
Hey, man, I'm always looking out for you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Shit. So it's not really about us anymore, even though we're trying to make it about us. So here we are, 2019. Monster Energy Supercross. We're 6 rounds in, so we'll just start with the big boys with the 450s. And I mean, at this point, I don't think anybody would have predicted that the championship would be like it is right now.
Not a
riders
chance.
That have won points. I mean, so leading into the season, like, did you think, okay, yeah, this guy's the favorite? Like, what were you thinking at this point?
Yeah, that's a great question. So here's the thing. None of the guys other than Chad Reed racing Monster Energy Supercross in the 450 class have won a Supercross championship.
Well, Jason Anderson won last year.
Jason Anderson, but he's out. He's out.
Well, but he wasn't out.
He wasn't out, but he was my pick. And the reason he is my pick is because of all the guys that he is racing against. He was the only guy to make it happen 17 rounds. Yeah, I understand Eli Tomac won a lot of races, and I like Eli Tomac. I think he has a great family. I have an incredible amount of respect for him as a rider, as a person, and his family. I mean, his dad is an accomplished mountain bike hero.
Legend, champion, all the
But Jason Anderson is our defending champion. He's earned that right, and so
what's your quote that you always say?
Until anybody could beat him, he deserves that championship, or he deserves that.
Okay, so finish this for me. Finish this. To be the man,
you have to beat the man.
So he's the guy to beat. Was the guy to beat.
Was the guy to beat. So he was my guy. I had some concerns, like, you know, I know he kind of does his own thing, and there's certain things that makes him tick compared to others. And, you know, I was like hoping that I was hoping that he didn't have too many distractions. He got off to a rough start at Anaheim. I'm not sure if he had an injury or whatever before that race. I mean, we hear all kinds of crap.
Well, he was third at one point, like third pressing second and first at the beginning of that main event in the mud.
Yeah, but you know what happens, Jeff? I was thinking about this as we're watching. He was looking back a lot, and most of the time when you're looking back a lot, like to see who is coming, that's because you're trying to manage the gap behind you.
Is that what I was doing most of the time?
Well, yeah, absolutely, 100%, because you know McGrath is coming to pass your ass.
If I didn't see him in front, I knew that he was somewhere back there. Even if he started last, he was coming by sometime.
Right? He was coming along. So he kept looking back a lot. I'm like, man, the only reason he should be looking back is, one, he had arm pump, and he knew he was going to keep going backwards, or he was in pain from an injury that maybe he had sustained. He had sustained a couple weeks before the series, like we had kind of heard had happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it didn't go well for him. Well, next week, dude backs it up, almost wins the race at Glendale, and that was an awesome ride by Blake Baggett, by the way, at Glendale. He was in another league after the red flag start. He was riding really well. Earned that one, beat the defending champion. Kudos to him. But Jason Anderson had a massive turnaround from the season opener at Anaheim until into Glendale. Like, so that to me, I'm like, dude, he validified who he is and why he's the champion. He rode like crap the first weekend. Would love to know why. Maybe we can have him on the show sometime and ask him. But then, dude, Glendale, I'm like, yep. I said that's why he has number 1 on his bike. Yeah. Because of that ride. Good, like, champions rebound. If they have a bad weekend, they rebound the next weekend. They have to. They have no choice other than to do that. So disappointing for sure. I never would have thought that after round 6 that there's a 1-point gap from first to second, and then only 2 points separating first through fourth.
And, I mean, that's I'll throw this in there because Wilson has been really consistent. He's at 95. Oh, wait, sorry. That jumps a big point. Sorry, Dino. Yeah, top 4 are definitely spread out. I was thinking it was 10, but my math isn't that good right now. Yeah, I mean, so Roxon at 125, Cooper Webb at 124, and then Tomac and Muscan both tied at 123. If I had to put my money down that by 6 races, Muscan and Roxon would have not won a main event, I'm not sure I would have. I probably would have. Yeah, I wouldn't have put my money on that. Right?
No, me either.
I mean, and Roxon's been pretty close.
Well, I thought Roxon would have had one by now. He's been in a good opportunity. I think he was robbed at Glendale. I think he had a sizable enough lead that those guys weren't going to catch him.
But Anderson did catch him. Oh, I love to talk about this shit because you know where I fall. Not fall. You know what my opinion is on rough riding like that.
Well, no, I'm talking about before the red flag.
Oh, gotcha. Oh,
Ken was keeping.
Gotcha. Yep.
Was keeping Jason, like right 2.5, 3 seconds. Like he was managing the race. Wasn't going over the limit, and I just think he was keeping Jason right where he needed to where he could finish out the race comfortably and get his first win since 2017. Unfortunately, Mookie crashed, brought out the red flag.
Man, I was so bummed to see Malcolm go down like that. I mean, and the fact that he got hurt.
Did you guys hear this? And I don't – this defies the laws of physics, but Mookie's chain came off, dude, and then
what?
It put itself back on.
So how does anybody know that? I mean, you'd have to have like frame by frame, slow-mo,
we got
SX
it.
mode.
The Manhart and the boys in the truck got the shot, dude. Well, Roger Larson told me that.
So I don't – so, yeah. The way that the bikes are designed with the chain guides, right? So Malcolm rides the Honda CRF 450. Like the fact that could even happen in 2019 just baffles me. And that's the variable to all of this that we think these bikes are like bulletproof. And so many times it's always, the rider made a mistake. We still ride in. This is a motorsport where the machine and the performance of the machine or durability of the machine comes into play also. Unfortunately, with Malcolm and that Smart Top Bullfrog Spas team, I mean, this isn't like some preparation error. This is something very, very rare, right?
Yeah, well, it's normally the first thing that happens to our listeners who aren't really up to speed on what happens when the chain derails. It's almost impossible for the chain to come back on with that.
Why would it derail, though?
Who knows? I don't know. Maybe the right amount of torque because he kicked sideways on that whoop. Maybe just the amount of torque on the wheel and the swing arm, pop the chain off.
Just
but
all
yes, we have frame by frame. You can see when it's in the air flipping, you can see that the top part of the chain is off. But most of the time when that happens, as you know, Jeff, that chain just gets clogged up in the counter shaft sprocket. That's the front sprocket, the little sprocket on the bike. It just clogs up in there. So how in the world that the chain kept spinning and put itself back on the bike is beyond me. So Roger Larson told me that at the airport the next day. I'm like, dude, there's no way there's no way. You're just blaming it on something. And that dude, he was right.
Yeah, and keep in mind, so the manufacturers, like their budgets for race teams like this, and Supercross is such an extreme sport. Like the average customer is never going to torque that bike in any way like Malcolm was, skimming across those whoops, right? So that's an extreme situation. But the fact that happened is pretty mind-blowing. And obviously he ended up with a broken femur. We're super bummed because I was really stoked to see. He was 250 champion.
Riding well, wasn't he?
Wait, what year was he 250 champion? Was it 15, 16? Man, they all run together anymore.
It was the year that Savacci lost it by 1 point, so 16.
16, yeah. So East Coast Supercross champion. I really felt that with the team and this team has taken a lot of gains forward, being a privately funded team. But so bummed for Malcolm that he's out. And so anyway, so
moving forward to go to the red flag.
Yep.
Evens everything up. So I'm like, oh, dude. So more than anybody that in a red flag situation, if you're the leader and you have 3+ second lead,
it's wiped out.
The red flag is a disadvantage for one guy, and that's the guy in the lead.
Hey, are you allowed to get a drink of water or anything like that?
Why? Is something wrong?
No, not right now. You're allowed to drink whatever you want right now. I'm saying in the red flag situation, the rider. I was just curious.
Oh! I'm like, what? Do I not sound right? Or
No. You're in the bar, so if you want to step over and grab whatever beverage you like,
I'm all right. Okay. I'm all right now.
You're gonna make it through this.
I'm gonna make it through strong. I'm gonna make it through strong. So I'm not sure if you're allowed to. Anyhow, I want to get this because dude, time's running out. We only got 30 more minutes.
33.
Well, so they line up. And I mean, Jason starts out really, really fast. He's sprinting. We're seeing the old Jason Anderson that we knew that brought him home that Monster Energy Supercross title in 2018. He makes a pass on Ken that I don't think Ken was anticipating. A lot of people wronged Jason Anderson for the pass that he did, but I watched Jason Anderson follow Ken for several laps and had an opportunity to put the guy off the track. I don't think Jason Anderson was expecting the outcome that came of that pass. He would never do that to a guy like Ken Roxon. I believe he has way more respect for Ken than to do that. When you watch that pass, you can see Ken, he flinches just a little bit. He wasn't expecting it. But he
should have been expecting it, right? He showed him the wheel at least one lap before that. And it's like, once bitten, twice shy. I'm like,
yeah. What was your thought? I mean, everyone heard my thought. I mean, I don't think Ken was expecting it.
No, exactly. And that there's a responsibility that when you're getting past, oh shit, I need to check up. I need to stop for a second. And that's what people don't understand that have never been in that situation. Like, trust me, especially in Supercross, I've been passed a lot. I have a tremendous amount, maybe the most experience of anybody, at least that's on a mic, at being passed. And you hear that. And if you don't realize, if you're Ken Roxon and you don't realize that Jason Anderson's there, your instincts and your peripheral vision and all that failed you. Because he showed you a wheel, you still tried to cut down to the inside line, and he's like, hey, I'm here. Then he didn't check up enough, so then he ends up getting taken out. Plain and simple, yes, there's a million different variables to it. Hey, if both riders go down, you went too deep. If you make the pass and the guy gets clipped, sorry, that's on him. So that's where I draw a line. That's kind of like a generalized way that I look at it. But if you go in, and we've both been there before, right? Have you ever taken somebody down? You go in and try to slam a guy and you both go down? That's your...
I never have, dude.
Oh, you never rode dirty?
Clean racer, bud, right
here. Okay, go on YouTube and pull up Vegas East-West Shootout
97.
97 with you and Wyndham. Dude, your forks are like broken because they're under his bike. So there's proof right there that you're already living this old lie. You're already lying. We are 30 minutes into the first show, and you're already telling lies.
That's right.
All right, I can see how this is going to be.
Hey, you remember what Ron Hornaday told me? He's a multi-time NASCAR Truck Series champion driver. He said, if you can't win, wreck someone who can.
Exactly.
And I knew I wasn't winning that night.
Hey, I was going to ask you for a great quote, for an inspirational quote before the end of the show, and now we already have it. If you can't win, wreck somebody that can. That's right. All right, so, man, okay, so are we done on that?
Yeah, we're done
incident?
On that. So did I ever expect this? It's crazy. Who would I put my money on?
Right now.
Well, I don't.
Okay, so
I tell you what. Hold up. I think Cooper Webb is the guy. I'm not trying to take anything away from Ken. Dude, love Ken. And I'm going to be critical of him because I know what he's capable of. Yeah. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Ken. I really like him. He's a fun guy to be around. Despite, when he rode for RCH, I mean, we all know there was some heartburn there, but we had some good times together. And the guy can ride a motorcycle. He's a pleasure to watch ride. And I've seen some times where Ken has been in a good place this season, and he's given some positions up. I hope that he doesn't regret those mistakes that he made. One of them being at the Triple Crown in Anaheim. The other one would be of recent at San Diego. I mean, he fell down right off the start. He even said as much so on his post-race interview on the podium. And then getting passed by Marvin Musquin on the basically 100 feet to go before the finish. He is a caliber of rider that is better than that. And if Cooper Webb, which I think in my mind, Cooper Webb has established himself as the guy. Everyone's gunning for him, and they better look out for him.
Yeah. So
I hope that Ken doesn't look back and be like, "Damn, dude, I wish I wouldn't have made that mistake at Anaheim. I wish I wouldn't have gave up those 2 points to Marvin at San Diego." I mean, that's how close we are. Yes, Cooper Webb has made mistakes too. However, he just looks like he's got the eye of the tiger, dude.
Yeah. So
that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm on the Trump. I'm on the Webb wagon, and I have every right to be.
Yeah, yeah. So the Supercross Research Department was going to deliver some the weekly stat book and all that.
Yeah.
I was hoping to have it before this, but certainly I know that there's a pretty good percentage of the first rider to win 2 main events ends up winning the title, and it's got to be even better. I would say in the 80% percentage, first rider to win 3 main events goes on to win the title. So hopefully next week, for next week's episode, we'll have some more current stats there. But first to 3 wins with Cooper Webb was completely unexpected, right?
I thought that he was going to be good. I picked, besides Jason Anderson, he was the guy that I thought that he changed teams. The team that he's on now, Red Bull KTM, his training regimen. We all know that team and the training that goes down, they hold you accountable. They expect results. They hold you really tight, and you can't get away with a lot there. So,
well, and he did himself a favor because, and I don't have the stat in front of me. Sorry, I'm slacking. I should have this right now because I know I wanted to talk about it. So, over the history of Supercross, since we introduced the 125/250/ Supercross Lights, whatever it's been called, championships into Supercross, which I believe was 1985, since those riders have graduated and became premier class riders, there have been, I'm going to say the number is 7. It's like 7 to 9 riders that have won 2 250 titles. So McGrath, Swink, Pichon, Huffman, Fonseca. Who else is in there? So there's few guys I'm missing out right there. Yeah. Well, Webb is one of those. 2-time 250 Supercross champion.
2-time.
Yeah. So your Wyndham is one.
Hold up. So I said this stat. Other than Justin Barcia.
Barcia's one of them.
Cooper Webb is the only guy to win of the current racers in the 450 class. Is the only guy to win back-to-back 250 regional Supercross championships. So he knows how to manage championship.
Yeah. And so that's the thing, is that very few of those riders had even won a main event, especially in the early days. There was like half of them haven't even won a single main event. And that was what was on my mind with Cooper Webb is, dude, this guy was pretty badass and yet really struggled with his Supercross riding. And now he's got a monkey off his back, so he won one. Just like Baggett got his first win this year. Barcia's won. Tomac's won. Obviously, Barcia and Tomac have won before. But what a big thing for Webb to do this year. And now he's backed it up with 2 more wins. And the first rider to win 2, and now he leads the way with 3 wins over Tomac, Barcia, and Baggett have won.
Oh, wait, what did you say? Who did you say that Eli Tomac has
more career? Well, sorry, hold on. Let me. I know you're going to call me out for that. Let me fix that. More career wins without a championship than anybody on the line. Obviously, Chad Reed is on the line. 2 championships, 40-some main event wins. I mean, it's pretty incredible. But for Tomac, he's won a lot of races, but no title. And so you wonder.
And Supercross. Well,
Supercross. So Roczen and Tomac, to me, are the guys that are going, okay, in the past I've won a lot of races, but I've crashed out of this damn thing. And guys like Ryan Dungey and Jason Anderson had, kind of podiumed you to death, if you will, and been ultra consistent. So
here's the thing, man. Like, and I haven't talked about this much, and the reason, and I applaud Ken Roczen for this, the reason that he's in the points lead is because, and this can win you championships, by the way, the reason that he is in the points lead is because he has put himself in really good positions all year long. And when I say that, I mean he's put himself in good positions in the main events as far as starts go. For the most part, he's been up front every single race.
Yeah, the starts are where Tomac, he's so fast all the time and so strong, but he has a tendency to either hole shot or be, 19th.
Right.
I mean, with a top 5 start, Tomac's win total, which is 22 right now, would be, I mean, it would be, there'd be 10, 15 more than that. And so, what does Tomac have to do to get himself some more wins and become a player here? Well, he's already a player, but I mean, to be more consistent with getting those wins.
Well, he needs to win consecutively with that red number 1 plate, or the red plate, the points leader plate. That's what he has to do.
So he's only had the red plate twice in his career, and he only held it for 1 weekend each time, right? Is that correct?
Yeah. I know that it's only been twice in his career, I believe, at the 450 level.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we're talking premier class, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. So
the reason that Ken is in the points lead is because he's put himself in the right position. Now, he is one of the guys, but I think the one that everyone is worried about, that they don't want to catch fire because they know he knows how to win championships, and he will figure it out at the 450 level. I am going on the record saying he's going to, and he has a good chance to do it this year, and that's Cooper Webb. And I will tell you why. If he gets, say, a 5th place start, he's going to be minimum on the podium. If he gets a 3rd place start, he's going to contend for the win. Okay. And if you're Cooper Webb, you just got to know that, dude, all I got to do is get out top 5. I'm at least going to be on the podium. If I get out top 3, it's freaking game on.
Yeah. He definitely, Webb has found that sort of eye of the tiger and that confidence that it takes for Supercross. I mean, you know how important that is. You have to have confidence in what you're doing and believe in yourself. Obviously, the first of 3 wins this year, he's got it figured out. And so my question is, what's it going to take for like a guy like Marvin Musquin, who's yet to win this year, or Roczen?
I feel he's just as close as to their first win as Ken Roczen of the season. These guys just got to close it out, plain and simple. You know, Ralph asked me, what's Ken got to do? Dude, he's got to close it. He's got to close it out and take the point situation away. You know, let's just talk. What does Ken have to do to win? And he's got the speed to do it. He just got to believe in himself and close it out. Yeah. And he can. Once he does that, it's going to be tough. But I'm telling you, man, Cooper's in a good spot right now.
Yeah. But for sure.
It will be interesting to see who can win first, Marvin Musquin or Ken Roczen. What's your pick? Who do you think gets the first? Who gets it first?
I'm good at analysis. I don't like doing predictions like you do.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Okay. All right. So that's the big 4 basically that are right there at the top of the 450. We did have 5 rounds of the 250 West. Cianciarulo came out winning 3, McElrath 1, and Nichols 1. After Nichols won the first one, it looked like he was the guy to beat. And then Cianciarulo kind of took this thing over. So let's just spend just a couple minutes on this, on what you think of that 250 West.
Well, it's fun to watch, man. I tell you what, this year has been crazy because no one has really taken command of the series. But I will say, Adam Cianciarulo turned a corner at Oakland, 100%, halfway through that race, maybe almost before halfway, started making some mistakes. Like, dude, he got crazy in the whoops, and it's like a light switch flipped on. Dude, he regrouped, started pounding his laps, and was a new guy.
So laps led 49 to Nichols 32, McElrath 8, Ferrandis 5.
Yeah, it's close. Pretty disappointed in Dylan Ferrandis. A lot of speed, but dude, he just bad starts, silly mistakes that's costed him dearly, and obviously his what happened at San Diego is really going to put him behind.
Yep. So let's move on to the 250 East. We've had 1 race, and I would say that Austin Forkner finally has gotten out there and performed like we thought that he would. He pretty much dominated the day. He wasn't fastest qualifier, but the rest of the night, he just dominated it and looked fantastic. Whole shot to checkers, and it was a good night for Austin Forkner.
Well, he was the fastest qualifier. The second practice he was, or was it the first practice or second practice? He did post the fastest
Oh, he did. I thought I heard in his interview that he wasn't, or maybe he just didn't feel good until most of the deal.
The first time practice, he made a ton of mistakes, dude. Like, he wasn't on the top of the board, and he wasn't riding as what he said he was riding in the offseason. I mean, taking chances, going for it, just flat out riding over his head. Well, dude, when the sun went down, the lights came on. The display and the performance that we saw from Austin Forkner last week in Minneapolis was what we have been expecting and what we have all been excited to see. No one is in his league. I expected a little more out of Chase Sexton. Hopefully he can figure it out this week.
He was on the ground too much.
From running the bullet head, he's going for that aerodynamic advantage with no visor.
Hey, that was not just because we ride for Fox Racing and we wear that exact same helmet, but I really thought that was insightful about, the technical aspects of the Fox V3 helmet, that it has a magnetic visor. And, his visor came off. And people are like, dude, his visor broke off. No, his visor came off because that's how our designers designed it for a safety issue. And that's like something pretty big, especially when you catch your visor at the wrong angle, jerking your head around. And more aerodynamic. He went pretty fast after that. I don't know if that affected his aerodynamics, though.
Some guy DM'd me on Instagram and said that it's actually been proven that it's not it doesn't have the aero performance that you would think. So we're talking
about 30 miles an hour. Hey, check that text I just sent you. My technical guy here, Miguel, wants you to turn off your screen sharing.
Okay.
That's why they got to look at only me right now. Dude, we want to see your pretty face on this show.
Screen sharing options. Stop sharing.
Stop sharing. He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Oh, my Lord. All right. So first technical difficulty. The team has fixed it. All right. So that's the racing part. I know there's a lot we could talk about. We are 47 minutes into this, 47.
Dude, time's flying when you're having fun, huh?
I know. So, so I want to get to
let's talk about something fun.
So
we had to rehash the 6 races. We don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, we there's a lot we can go through, and we're going to Dallas next weekend for Monster Energy Arlington, AT&T Stadium. Hey, so what privateer has impressed you?
Well,
because the privateers had a rough go a couple weeks ago in San Diego with all that mess, and I don't think we're going to get into that yet until we have some facts and all that sorts itself out. But what privateer do you think has been doing a good job this year?
Jacob Hayes.
Jacob
Hayes has been riding really well.
And he's on, what's the name of the team again? What's all the...
I don't have my sheet in front of me, and I need to, normally we have those sheets.
We'll get your partner, Ralph Shaheen, on there because he has to do all that
Jacob
stuff.
Hayes riding really well, man, in that 250 West. Still a little early to tell in the 250 East. I like to see these guys get 3 or 4 races under their belt, but really impressed by Jacob Hayes. The 450s.
So Hayes won how many Arena Cross championships?
Just one.
Oh, just the one.
Last year.
The final one.
The final Amsoil Arena Cross Series Ricky Carmichael Cup.
You had to get that in there. The Ricky Carmichael Cup. The now defunct. You drove that thing into the ground. You put it into extinction.
Don't you wish you won one?
Arena Cross?
Oh, dude, I'm still pissed off. I'm still mad at you from U.S. Open.
That was like an Arena Cross.
99?
Yeah, which was that technically was the last time that we raced officially.
Man. You know it.
Hell yes, I cut you off. You think I knew I wasn't going to beat you straight up. So I was going to have to put you off the start. That was my strength. We set the bike up to go to the first turn, and that was it. Because the whole so that was the the second U.S. Open of Supercross, MGM Grand Garden, and I knew. So we can make this our story time segment that I had here on our rundown, if you want.
I mean, we've never talked about this before ever. I know you like talking about it because you beat me, so go for it.
That's what I hang my hat on, is that the last time we raced together, I won. And then after that, you went on a tear. I'd like to think that defeat was so painful in your heart and soul that you said, I'm going to do everything I can to not ever be beaten by a guy that shitty and that out of shape and that semi-sober ever again. And then you went on to win how many races? 150 races after that.
Yeah.
Or not after that. But.
You know what blows my mind is how you really straight up, and to this day, guys, everyone listening, all of our listeners, Fro really in his heart of hearts, deep inside of himself, he truly believes that he would have beat me in the 2000 MX Outdoor Nationals Championship.
I told you I would have won a race. At least one.
No, you not even, dude. Now you're retracting what you said.
Hey, well, we told you we're going to tell some lies on this story. I mean, on this podcast. I don't know. I might have. When we were a couple CLs deep there in your lavish pool area there in the back of your house, I might have said something along the lines of that. But that was probably inflated by some liquid courage.
I mean,
you would not have won every race in 2000 motocross championship.
I never said I would, but dude, you weren't even on my radar. I mean, listen.
Oh, I would have been. Hey, Glenn Helen, come around.
Greg Albertine beat you, so that's who my sights were set on.
Dude,
the defending champion.
Dude, I was only sober for half those races, and I was riding a 1999 KX250.
It was same.
The Kawasaki, our 98 bike was, it was awesome. It was unreal. It was so good. And then 99, Huffman, Carmichael, myself, we couldn't hit our ass with both hands on this 99 bike. And by like May, the designers of the bike from KHI come over and we're like, hey, nobody can ride this thing. It won't go through the whoops. And the project manager on the bike, he says, we said, well, the chassis doesn't feel the same. Is it the same? And he goes, well, almost same. And for those of you that haven't worked with any of the Japanese technicians, when they say almost same, that means this thing is completely freaking different than what it started out. So,
complete rebuild.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I had your number. At least at Redbud, I would have whooped your ass at Redbud.
Dude, no, you wouldn't have. But you keep believing that.
I'm gonna give that to you. Whatever. You have some fun with that. We got like 7 minutes or so left.
Okay, so tell everyone. I love when you tell this story. You have a lot of.
See what I told you guys? He's.
Hey, wait. You tell our listeners that the. Dude, I just started laughing when you saw the guy like 3 years ago at a Cowie, like a dinner.
Oh no! It was when we released. I was riding for Cowie at the time, and we released the 2006 KXF 450. So the head project designer from Kawasaki comes over, and we're doing this big media event back at Muddy Creek, and we're having dinner one night. So we have a couple of, vodka drinks beforehand, loosen it up. Everyone's like, hey, this is pretty exciting, this new 450. And so I'm talking to the Japanese, technician guy, so he's the project designer. And I was like, oh, how long have you been doing this? What was your first bike with Cowie? And he's like, first bike, 1999 KX250. I looked at him in the eyes. I said, you ruined my racing career, dude. And he's like, what? And I'm like, you're the almost same guy. You're the guy that said it's almost the same, but basically it's completely different. None of us could ride that thing.
Dude.
Hey, how about the whoop section through,
story?
through New Orleans?
Ruined my career, man.
Ruined my
going back
career.
Remember when they came over late in 99 and when he said almost same, no, we were asking him like, dude, the 99 chassis is the same as the 98, right?
And he's like, almost same.
Like, almost same. And dude, we just if you guys
they said they lowered the upper frame tubes. They said they lowered those 3 millimeters and that's it. 3 millimeters. I mean 3 millimeters and 98. Like anybody that rode that bike, it was amazing. Like it was so good. You rode a 125 still that year, but
point and shoot. You could point and shoot it. You always would say.
Did you ever use the 98 chassis later on in your career?
I did.
What year?
It won. How many races did it win that year?
2000
in Supercross. 2000.
Well, until you switched to Honda, you rode the 98 chassis. So that was 2000, 2001, 2002. Were you on Honda or Cowie?
2002, I was on Cowie or Honda.
So 2000 and 2001.
2001 Supercross and outdoor. I used the 1998 chassis.
It was butter. It was so good. I mean, we were so lucky that in our careers that we've had just amazing teams and parts and stuff. And that, we don't have a lot of time left here if we're going to hit our time mark. But, dude, we had it pretty good.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, and not to mention, dude, the great people that we've met along the way, and people that you and I still talk to. I mean, go back to Cowie, one of the guys. I mean, I hear from him probably a couple times a year. Rick Ash, just a fabulous technician. He was the guy between all of our horsepower. You know, he did all the engine work, and he was our shock guy as well. Shock technician.
Yeah. And that's what these guys are doing now, right? And there's a lot more technicians on the team now. You and Carey Hart owned the RCH team not that long ago. I mean, it's a different deal, but it's crazy how much you split hairs and how much work goes into little bits of gains, right?
Yeah, I mean, it does. But that's what it's about. It's like that in any sport, man. It's like that in any sport.
Yeah, but especially motorsports where it's not just the athlete. I mean, I think it's the ultimate pairing between man and machine. You know, I love and respect all types of motorsports. I was just at NHRA in Pomona last weekend visiting with Antron Brown and Ron Capps, right, two of the champs in that. And Antron was taking some time to take my 11-year-old son Jagger and like tell him about some stuff. I think it was completely going over Jagger's head. But I mean, even like with that, it's so crazy what they do that is so specific to that. And I think with Supercross, we have our own, you know, specifics that makes it interesting. The only problem is we don't have a roll cage on us, and that's a game changer right there.
Yeah, so. that's the bummer part, but it is what it is. I'm looking forward to our next week's podcast. I think it's going to be good. We'll have less time. We won't have to rehash the whole series. We can just talk about what happened in Arlington. So I'm looking forward to next week. We hope that everyone really enjoys what Fro and I are talking about, and please hit us up, you know, with questions. Fro will be able to give you all that information here. But for me, it's an honor to do this with you, buddy. You're one of my best friends, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. And like we told you at the top of the show, is we're gonna expand this. It's not just gonna be about Supercross and motocross. I mean, obviously we love the sport. It's what has given us everything that we could ever imagine and dreamed of. But we want to share some more stuff with you guys than just than just this. So
hey, you know, we were talking earlier, like, hey, we need to get some sponsors for this. We already have sponsors. Wallet Racing is backing us.
That's right.
We're doing this on our own. So in the spirit of that, I would like to make our first official sponsors. There's two of them. We're going to start with the EMIG PRO V2 Lock-On Grip by ODI, which is brand new. That's out. I'd like to thank ODI and the EMIG Pro for sponsoring this. Also, I'm going to join Ricky back at the Goat Farm, and we've got a Ricky Carmichael University going on a couple weeks from when. So this podcast will air like tomorrow, but we've got another Ricky Carmichael University at the Goat Farm happening. A couple spots, I believe, still available, but that's going to be in between Atlanta Supercross and Daytona Supercross.
Basically a warm-up before Daytona.
And then you've got the Ricky Carmichael Amateur Supercross at Daytona coming up. So we've got a lot going on, brother. But I can't believe that we're right here at the end of this first podcast finally after we've been talking about it for so long.
I know, a year. It's been fun. It's going to be a lot of fun next week. We can hash it out, tell stories, and we'll have more time to talk about things rather than rehashing the whole series. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And please, guys, send us questions and things you guys want to hear about, whether it's more stories or more analysis. We love taking questions and trying to answer them for you.
Yeah, so we're trying to work out that Twitter handle right now. I ran into a little snag. So right now you can send any of your questions or comments to @Ricky Carmichael or @EMIG47 on all the social media platforms. We'd love to hear from you. We're going to add those into next week's show. We're going to have some giveaways and all that stuff going forward. So certainly let us know what you think of this after you hear it. Any parting words, Ricky? This is it. We're getting ready to sign off.
You know, a fantastic job. We're going to have fun, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
All right. So, Miguel, as we leave you, let's take one more listen to this track from the Andrew McKeague Band, This Old Lie.
Waiting on your say
coming through. Living this old life. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening.